I spent time with the Great Sword on console, but when I saw the Monster Hunter Outlanders footage, I saw something very interesting regarding the Great Sword. Is Timmy actually buffing our moves for the mobile platform? Let's take a look. One of the things regarding the Great Sword that jumped out to people immediately was a little charge up gauge. A lot of people were kind of put off by that, but it's something that we don't really see in the rest of the footage. So more than likely, this is just here kind of as a tutorial, just to kind of show people in the beginning how to use the weapon in case they're not familiar with it. Now, the thing that really stood out was this attack right here where the hunter kind of changes his grip, jumps up and does this aerial attack. It's beautiful. It's amazing. Looks like it hits really hard. I can't wait to try it out. Now, if we notice though, in the text that's sitting there on the screen, it says that this is a switch skill. We're going to slow this down and look at it again. Notice how the person holds the button and slides up towards the desired move, and that is what activates the switch skill. This works out really good for Great Sword, and we can see it happening a couple more times as we continue. We have the same fluid motion when it comes to the tackle. There's a quick button press and then another button press to block and then retaliate. And then of course we have our perfect evade here, and it lets us to maintain our charge as long as we're holding that button down. So there's going to be a lot of just holding the button or alternating with quick button presses. This allows us to stay in the fight. We can continue to be aggressive, push the attack. Fight should go a lot faster and a lot smoother. That intentional smoothness is much more evident when we look at the heavy bowgun. Again, if we just look at the button presses, he's pushing the buttons, shots fired, okay? We got a variety of ammo types, but notice how the flow of the match goes. As long as you're hitting shots, right? As long as you're landing blows, your special ammos that you see up there, they continue to replenish. All right, we have our perfect evade that gives an automatic counter attack. We have our perfect block that refills our ammo automatically. So the thought here is, as long as we stay on the offensive, we will continue to have ammunition to fire. It's going to automatically replenish. As long as we're using different types of ammo types, which keeps us in the fight, you don't have to go back to base and try to replenish and restock, reload, and then get back to the fight. You're just going to be able to stay involved and keep up the pressure. Above those normal buttons, notice that there is a targeting icon. So initially here, he's targeting just the wing. And so he continues to fire on that portion of the monster, hitting just the wing. And then later on, we see it's targeting the head. And even though the monster is airborne, he's continuing to target the head. Now, my question is why in some cases is it lit up? In some cases that it's not. It seems that he's still targeting the same part. Either way, I'd like to know what you think is going on in these videos. So let's try to keep those former points in mind as we move into the long sword. Now, they did a really good job. It's a great rendition, but notice again, as the character is pushing buttons, he's consuming, it looks like, some type of special abilities. There's 1s, 2s, and 3s, and they get grayed out as they get used up. But as you continue to play the game, right, you get your spirit gauge up, you do some dodges, you do some counterattacks. Those special attacks do indeed come back. One of the interesting things here is this Pukei-Pukei, he's glowing on his head and on the tips of his wings, and I'm just wondering, is this indicative of what the radiant monsters will look like? So now here's something that's interesting. We got the normal special attack, and then we have this lunge attack. Many people commented that that is something new, and I think it's excellent, right? We're going to see it one more time. It's excellent. Think about if you're in a group, you can go ahead slash through the monster and end up on the other side. So somebody in the front will still have the aggro, right? That monster will still be trained on one other individual. And with the great sword now, you can go through the monster, do damage, and continue to attack from the other side. Again, we're keeping the fluidity of the match going, and I think that's what they're really trying to go for when it comes to Monster Hunter Outlanders. And that fluidity seems to be capped when we look at the dual blades. There's a lot of aggressive movement sets here. Again, you're just trying to build up that demon gauge. And then when you do, right, you're considered to be in demon mode. So you're still attacking, but you can still build that up. You have your specialty moves up there that looks like you consume and still are able to replenish. If you build it up again, then you're going to be in archdemon mode. So you build up and then, right, you release that energy, right? You inhale and you kind of exhale, and there's that fluidity of movement that again embodies this weapon in particular, the dual blades. Through the course of what they showed us so far, we've seen a Pukei-Pukei, we've seen Anjanath, we've seen Rathian, and stuff that we've seen in the environment. We've seen poison cups, we've seen flash flies, and we've seen vigor wasp. So those things are obviously going to be part of the game as well. The overall environment does indeed look a little bit flat. We recognize that this is something that they talked about. This is something they mentioned in the blog. People must have commented on it in the beta. So hey, they'll work on it. They'll fix it. It'll be better because the environment is part of Monster Hunter as a whole. We're always interacting with the environment when we're crafting our items. We can use things from the environment to trap or injure, damage, stun the monster. So that stuff will be present in this game. I'm curious to see what shape it takes. I really want to know what monsters are going to be coming to the game. What did you think about this demo so far? Are you excited for the game? I am. Let me know in the comments below what weapon you plan on using.